Hey guys, it's Morgan. I know what you might be thinking. Did we miss something? Is there a draft up? Did you win? I like you. You ask the right kind of questions. However, no. The answer is no, you did not miss anything. I decided that since today is Friday and I've been doing magic related stuff all whole week pretty much, I would just do a quick wrap up. Friday night wrap up basically, which would be FNW. Anyway, that's not important because I can't spell. In Rochester, or in the place that I live, our local game store, Hobby Goblins, go there if you are in the area, please. It's a lot of fun. Also, you might see me there. Anyway, our local game store does several events a week, including Monday Night Magic, which is basically standard, but the payout is it takes the form of the Thieves Draft, which basically means you get to go around depending on what place you got, and you get to pick what card out of like the boosters people threw in, and by the end we usually end up separating, like just randomly giving out commons and uncommons. It's a lot of fun. Wednesday nights are drafts, and it's right now it's Triple Avacyn Restored. Not much else to say about that one. And then Fridays are Friday Night Magic, and Sundays are Commander, but I have never been to a Commander one at the store. Usually I'm working, like this Sunday. Also, my Commander deck is not all that great right now, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so this week I did go to all 3 of the weekly events, which can be kind of problematic because they go pretty late, but Monday, for Standard, I played a red-blue deck, which heavily featured things like Stromkirk Noble, Invisible Stalker, as well as the swords that I have managed to obtain. And fun thing about those, they win a lot of games. To be quite honest, the only game that I did not win was one where the guy thought he was screwed, kept a hand with like 4 Honor of the Pures and some land, put down all 4 Honor of the Pure, and top decked a hero. So yeah, this deck is pretty fast. I like it because of that. Also, the swords add a lot of power to it. It's got card draw with Think Twice, Galblast, Ponder, Hellrider. I've got it in my hands. Also, it's got these sleeves. They're really pretty. Phantasmal Image. And I'll talk about it more after this. And then, give me a second. And then on Wednesday, I went and I drafted Avacyn Restored. I drafted a very decent blue-green deck, although I can't help but think that I didn't know how to play it just a little bit because I kept Tormentor's Trident out for a really long time just because the flying that I had took the form of Fettergeist. I probably should have been playing more tempo stuff rather than, like, for example, Geist Snatch or Geist Trappers. I had a Geist Trappers, but green-blue, I wish I had picked a Mistraven at some point. Otherwise, I probably would have been better off in white because of, like, well, actually, no. If I had been in white, then I wouldn't have gotten any Seraph of the Dawn because everybody was taking Seraph of the Dawn at our table. So, yeah, pretty much there's that. One of my new favorite cards is Druid's Familiar. It's the one with the bear. No, you can't really read that, but it's Soul Bond, and it gives +2/+2 for 4 Fettergeist always pulls weight, although the games that I lost, usually they manage to shut me down with some Geist Trappers, which means that Fettergeist is probably best drafted instead of with a Soulbond deck, with like a deck with a lot of removal. I had the opportunity to grab Deathwind, and I didn't, and I really regret it. Deathwind is a really good card in Limited. Remember that, children. So yeah, kind of, I think I got like 5th place, but there were only a dozen people there, so naturally, and I didn't even get a pity pack. But that brings me to Friday. Friday, today, that's today, for the next 20 minutes, I played a deck much like the deck that I played on Monday. However, there were a few differences. I took out the Stormblood Berserkers for Porcelain Legionnaires, and I can't decide which ones I like better, to be honest. Porcelain Legionnaires still can be shut down by Sword of War and Peace, so there's not really much I can do about that, but Stormblood Berserkers are a lot harder to block. They do require a lot more work, but if I were to side in a Ratchet Bomb and try and get rid of all of the Honor of the Pures or whatever that my opponent is playing, Porcelain Legionnaire wouldn't die, whereas Stormblood Berserker would. So, kind of going back and forth there. The point of this deck is to get a really fast start and just keep beating down your opponent. Let's see here. Some important 1-drops. We've got Ponder. I'm perfectly fine making Ponder a turn 1 move. We also have Galvanic Blast, which isn't really a turn 1 move. It's more like a get rid of whatever dork they throw out move. Galvanic Blast is good because it gets rid of Huntmaster. It gets rid of Delver. It gets rid of, let's see, lots of things. It gets rid of lots of things. So Galvanic Blast is there, especially if I have like a Hellrider or something that doesn't have a sword on it, I will get rid of a blocker. Stormkirk Noble is really good, especially since people are playing a lot of humans. It can't be blocked by Insectile Aberration, for example. So I play it because in the right deck it can get really, against the right people, it can get really big really fast, and usually I'll side it out if there is like Vapor Snags involved, because Vapor Snags just reset it and it's kind of useless after that. I think that's it for my 1-drops. 2-drops. We've got Invisible Stalker, which really feels unfair with the swords, but it's so good. Invisible Stalker, think twice, Phantasmal Image. I'm thinking of taking out Phantasmal Image, or a couple of, or bringing it down to just 1 or 2, just because a lot of the time I will misplay with Phantasmal Image. So yeah. Oh, one 1-drop that I missed is Vexing Devil. I just got a second one today. Definitely paid way too much for it, but I like it a lot. I do play Mana Leaks in this deck, which feels kind of, it feels really, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. So when I was a youngling, playing black-white tokens, mono-white tokens at first because there wasn't any lingering souls that I needed to flash back, I hated Mana Leak. I would try my best to play around it, but Snapcaster Mage plus Mana Leak still got there. So I play it, but I feel really bad every time I do. Just, if that makes me a better person, cool. If it doesn't, Think Twice is really good with Sword of Feast and Famine, because I can like tap out to draw cards and swing with Sword of Feast and Famine with Invisible Stalker and still have room left over. So there's that, to draw more cards. Let's see, any other 2-drops? I do play Stormblood Berserkers on occasion, just because they can't be blocked by more than 2 people, or by less than 2 creatures. I guess Porcelain Legionnaire would count as a 2-drop because I don't play any white mana at all. I will take the Phyrexian mana every time. And I like it because, hey, 3-1 for 2 with First Strike, that's the shit. I didn't play that many aggressive decks. If I had Porcelain Legionnaire, probably would have made them think a little bit more about their deck choices. It did keep Wolfir Avenger at bay for a little bit, which is nice. It's awesome. Let's see. 3-drops. I have Swords. I am so glad that I have Swords because they make this deck so bomb. The 2 that I have main deck are Sword of War and Peace and Sword of Feast and Famine. Right now I'm running 1 War and Peace and 2 Feast and Famine, although if I was given the option I would definitely put more in there. I'd like cram it full of swords. And then I run a Sword of Body and Mind in the sideboard. Sword of War and Peace is good against, for example, Wolf Run or green-red aggro because they will use like Whip Flare or Slike Storm or something like that, but once your creature is equipped with the sword, none of that actually works. Common, well, I don't know if you know this, but protection, I have to keep repeating this to myself, like when I was playing Mirran Crusader, for example. Protection means can't be blocked, targeted, or dealt damage by anything of that color or creature type or name or whatever, what have you. So Slike Storm deals damage. It does not target, but it is not a wrath effect that says destroy. If it was, yeah, they would die. But so that's what makes Sword of War and Peace nice. Sword of Feast and Famine has some pretty cool combos in this deck. I use it for the effect rather than for the protection a lot of the time. This card is really good against a lot of opponents just because and I was talking to somebody and he said that what was in his hand was more important than what was in his deck, and I agree, because in your hand you can actually play stuff. The only exception would probably be like Birthing Pod people, and there were actually 2 of them playing today. I like Sword of Feast and Famine because of its synergy with this card, Devil's Play. I like it because on Monday I won a couple of games by Devil's Play, swing with sword, untap lands, flashback Devil's Play. It works. There's not really much else I can say about that. And that's it for my 3-drops. 4-drops, I have 2 4-drops. This is a very aggressively costed deck, but the problem with that is it gets blown out by Elesh Norn. Which I will talk about. 2 4-drops. We have Hellrider, which a lot of you might be familiar with. It's really good. It's a really good finisher, I guess you could say, because it has haste. And you play Hellrider, you swing with 3 or so creatures, especially if they don't have any blockers, and you win. It also works against Fog. So, like, I swung all in, they played Fog, but I still did enough damage. Another one, Archwing Dragon. A lot of fun against people who don't have a lot of instant speed removal. People who run Day of Judgment, for example. It's just really good because it has flying, haste, and returns to your hand at the end of the turn. So yeah, play it against Day of Judgment and you will find yourself succeeding. It's really nice. Let's see. 5-drops, I do run 1 Zealous Conscripts pre-board, I think. Yeah, 1 pre-board, 1 post-board. Or I can run 2 post-board. I generally don't use more than that. One of my games tonight, I got mana screwed after misplaying. I should have killed an acidic slime before they equipped a Sword of War and Peace to it, but I didn't, because I forgot that I had Devil's Play in my graveyard, which is something that you do not want to do. If you have flashback cards that you can use, I don't know, put them aside, doesn't matter. Just make sure that you know that they're in your graveyard. But yeah, I think I went on a tangent. Okay, and my sideboard has negates, Pillar of Flames, which I never brought in, probably should have. Notable things. Oh yeah, Sword of Body and Mind, like I said. Ratchet Bomb, Ghost Quarter, Grafdigger's Cage, also something I never brought in. Slag Storm, something that I brought in a couple times but never saw, which is, you know, pity. But, so, let's see, breakdown of what I did today. I played kind of a janky mill deck game 1. I won 2-0, but the guy had been to this was his second Friday Night Magic, and he missed a couple of his like mill triggers and stuff like that, and I tried to be nice, I really did, and I pointed stuff like that out. For example, Abundant Growth, he played it, didn't draw a card. I'm like, bro, you've got an Abundant Growth here, draw a card, stuff like that. Game 2, I played a guy that I had played on Monday, and he was the guy with the token deck, and it was kind of stressful for both of us, I think, because he was very pessimistic, and well, game 1, I believe I won with Stalker Sword. I put out a Sword of War and Peace and swung for 10 on turn 4, and he was really mana screwed. Game 2, I believe he won with a lot of Day of Judgment, and game 3, I won because he didn't top deck like an Intangible Virtue or something because of Timely Reinforcements, which he had post board, which was really good for him. Timely Reinforcements, children, it is a good thing. Use it, love it, know it, absolutely. And then, so yeah, that was very stressful because he sounded like he was going to like flip the table or quit Magic or something like that. I felt really, really bad. So yeah, playing control eats away at your soul, basically. And by playing control, I mean running counter spells. Yeah. Game 3, I lost because it was blue-white control, and I have not played blue-white control ever. So, what I tried to do was win. That did not happen. Game 1, he got Tamiyo to ultimate with because of Day of Judgment, and Surgical Extraction is going to be really helpful in my sideboard once I get a hold of 1 or 2. I have 1 right now. So, Surgical Extraction, note to self. Thank you, Internet, for allowing me to reach that conclusion. But anyway, with a combination of Day of Judgments, getting rid of all my creatures like every turn, he got Tamiyo to ultimate, and after the first counter spell, I conceded because I have done that before, been there, do not want to go back. I hate with a double hate. Absolutely hate Tamiyo's ultimate. It's just, yeah, I conceded. But game 2, I won. Vapor Snag is the bomb. Game 3, however, I got blown out by Elesh Norn, which means to me that I need a couple more answers for her. And also, I think I kind of misplayed by mana leaking twice. Well, I tried to play Hellrider. He did that one weird counter spell where you counter green or red, and I should probably start running those actually. Flash Freeze, I believe it is. he countered that, and I tried to counter his counterspell, and he just paid the mana cost for it. So, don't do that, because if they have the option of paying mana for it, then they're going to, pretty much. So I wasted a counterspell, and I allowed a Nalash Norn to hit the field, which sucked a lot, like really hard. So, I lost that one, but then I won 2-1 against a kind of aggro-y green-red Kessig. He did play Kessig Wolfrun. I stole / copied his Primeval Titan, and but game 1 he won pretty handily. Game 2 I won. Game 3 he got mana screwed. He was sitting there with like Acidic Slime in his hand, I'm pretty sure, and 4 mana out for like 3 or 4 turns while I assembled my Stalker Sword dealio. So, and then when he did get something out, he like played a Huntmaster or something, and I stole it with Zealous Conscripts, which was really kind of unnecessary, but there you go. Some fun interactions that I saw tonight. Oh, wait. Top 8. My top 8 game was against green-red aggro. I believe it was aggro because there wasn't as much ramp as I see in Kessig Wolfrun. Green-red aggro, he played Wolfear Avenger, which kind of got... And I only had a Sword of War and Peace only. Only had a Sword of War and Peace. Wish I had more Feast and Famine, but I have what I have. And, so that's how he kind of blew me out. But I did win 1 game, and he was, and I would have won game 2, or game 3, except, I forgot that I had a Devil's Play in my graveyard, and 5 mana, which is all I needed to kill the freaking Acidic Slime that he had out, and before that, my whole plan, he had 2 swords out. He had Feast and Famine and War and Peace. And my whole plan had been to keep him from equipping those swords to anything by getting rid of the creatures, and I forgot to get rid of it. No, I didn't forget. I didn't realize I could get rid of the creature. So, that wasn't pleasant. But, top 8! I got top 8! So excited. So very excited. If you've made it this far, you have earned like an A++ in awesomeness. It's very nearly not Friday anymore, so I think I'm gonna shut up now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you probably tomorrow with an Avacyn Restored draft, and have a good night, everybody.